Okay, now you hear me. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have the Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando Swiss Round 2 tournament match between Knightcrawler and Jackimus. Commentator will be Victor Santa Fe. Say hello. And I hear nothing. Oh, I think I know. Say something again, Victor. I too, one moment. I have some technical issues. Okay, now you should be also on restream. I'm sending the runners off. And it seems I have... to recrop I wanted to say, but... Let's see why you can't see the stream. But first, let me check about gems, if they go in the menu. 5 gems. So, the commentary page. Seems not to work. Victor, you can also use the tracker page to commentate. It's the same stream.
Yeah, I think the problem is in my end. Some pages work well, but some of them don't.
I checked it myself. Somehow the commentary page itself is not working.
Okay, so I can barely see the race. I see that both players are in the town of Raru. So for those of us that are not very familiar with the Zelda 2 Randomizer, this is the max random category. It could be very random. The players will start with some items and some spells. In this case, the players will start with the shield spell, the boots, the flute, and the cross. Yeah, I'm trying to, but the restream pages aren't working very well for me. So I'm trying to watch on Twitch, but yeah, it's not working either. So yeah, let me try something. Wait for me for a little bit, and I will try again.
In the meantime, I have to recrop Jackimus. So give me a second. Okay, this should be better now. It's hard to see for Jackimus because the game feed is within the black area. So why? What I can tell so far is that we have to put 5 gems into its place to open Grand Palace. But other than that, my specific knowledge for Zelda 2 is not that great. And we know that Jackimus stream has some issues. It will be a slideshow. Somehow,
Hello.
spin seems not correct.
All right.
That's better.
So Knightcrawler picked up the hammer a short time ago. I believe Jackimus has it as well, because I think I saw him in that cave.
Unfortunately,
Currently,
I can't help you. I haven't watched the game so far.
It's all good.
Let's see.
I can handle both. It's fine.
Also,
Thank you,
palace
though.
numbering is very hard for me.
Yeah. I have no idea what colors match what palaces. I know white is 1, and that's about it.
Jackimus takes a death.
Hey guys, so I'm back. I'm trying to load the stream.
Okay.
Sorry for the
All right.
technical issues
We
on
had
my
other technical issues as well.
So right now, Jackimus is exploring one of the palaces, while Knightcrawler is still checking out caves, looking in the overworld, seeing what he can find. Currently has the fire spell, reflect spell, and shield spell that they started with.
And a P-back in the Hammer Cave.
Oh, thank you, Alan. Jackimus is in Palace 1.
Okay, I'm still not able to see the streams. I'm not able to
trying
see Twitch either.
The
So
link for you again.
yeah,
See if this
sometimes
works.
I feel
This should
like
work.
it is a Twitch problem in some regions, and sometimes it happens only to me and not the rest of the world. So
Twitch.
Knightcrawler is exploring the Death Mountain Trail area. Or Death Mountain. And Jackimus picks up his fire spell.
So in this category, the fire spell is combined with another spell.
So they can't use it without the other spell?
No. If they use fire, the other spell also triggers.
Oh, I see. Okay. Knightcrawler trying to find a good cave to go into. And it seems he's found Hammer Cave. Or did earlier. Unfortunately, I haven't played Zelda 2 in years, so I can't recognize caves by sight. Knightcrawler levels up his attack, so he's at attack 4, magic 1, life 2. While Jackimus is at attack 3, magic 3, and life... I think it was 3, but I need to wait for his screen to go back to that. Life 4. So Jackimus has been focusing on upping his magic and life, while Knightcrawler's been focusing on attack, it seems. And Knightcrawler finds the medicine. Or bottle of life, I think it's called. Jackimus finds a pea bag and ups his magic again.
And both are taking a death. At the same time.
And it seems we've figured out that the fire spell is connected to the thunder spell, so both activate when fire is used. Jackimus leveling up his attack again. And going into another palace. While Knightcrawler continues his cave excavations. Jackimus is in Palace 4 right now. Oh, and found the boss. And with the reflect spell, we can actually kill him. That's awesome.
So Jackimus will be the first to place the first of 5 gems.
And the Rizro boss goes down.
I think Jackimus went back into Palace 5 in the search for the item. Or was there another palace nearby?
I think there was another palace nearby. But I didn't see the item for Palace 4 either, so he could be back in Palace 4.
It's the maximum for the audio on Knightcrawler side, so I can't get it any louder. And as Jackimus has stream issues, choppy audio is not so good.
And it appears
Therefore,
the item of this palace is just a pea bag. 500 points.
Knightcrawler is still in Death Mountain. So
Nightcrawler down to like one last hit, having difficulty with these moblins. Oof, and dies. Now, Death Mountain has always confused me, whether it's vanilla or rando, but it looks like Nightcrawler is going in circles, while Jackimus finds the boss of Palace 1
it's
and
Palace
takes him
1,
down,
yes.
no problem.
So there was another palace near 4. So we have on the western continent Palace 1 and 4 so far. Knightcrawler taking the unlucky dip to the water.
And takes another dip. The birds are not being nice today. Oh, Knightcrawler finds the raft. Jackimus, meanwhile, is doing his trek through Death Mountain.
And Knightcrawler is getting another spell.
The jump spell.
Jump spell.
Knightcrawler enters his first palace, which I believe is Palace 4. Palace 1 and Palace 4 are different shades of green in this particular seed.
Yeah, the colors of the palaces and the shapes of the bricks of their palaces are random in every seed. So the only thing that keeps being the same as the vanilla game is the columns. They have like a motif, a face in them, and that stays the same for the palaces. So that's the way you can tell them apart, except
Gotcha.
for 3 and 6.
Right, Knightcrawler finds the P bag of 500 points, so that means this is Palace 1. Levels up again, his attack is 5, magic 2, life is 3. While Jackimus levels are 4 for life, 4 for attack, 5 for magic, and 4 for life, I believe I saw.
Those
Yes.
4, yes.
So yeah, finding a payback in Palace 1 is not what he was looking for. However, that will help him get some levels, and yeah, he is on attack 5, so yeah, that's pretty good. When he places his gem, he can get quite some experience. And Jackimus finds Hammer Cape, so he's about to pick up his medicine that will grant him access to the jump spell. And the jump spell will grant him access to downstop technique. So Knightcrawler exploring the right side of Palace 1. He's about to find the boss, I believe. And Jackimus about to pick up his medicine out of Hammer Cape. I didn't see if Knightcrawler was able to find a spectacle rock inside that mountain and check out the item there, but
Knightcrawler makes quick work of Horsehead. While Jackimus picks up his jump spell. Which means...
yeah, the jump spell is not required. However, it can be very helpful. In case you don't have fairy, you can use it to get the downstop technique, and it helps in Palace 6 because there is a room that has a hole in the ground, and that's pretty tough to jump without jump spell. And also in Great Palace, there are some waffle rooms that are way easier to do having the jump spell. So not a bad spell, not necessary, but it is not bad at all. So we saw in Knightcrawler's side that there was a palace that looked like 3 or 6. In the western side of the western continent. He hasn't sailed yet. Maybe he hasn't found a raft tile. I'm not sure, but
I haven't seen a raft tile on his side yet. Oh, there's one. Alright, so Knightcrawler goes to the eastern continent. I think he's checking out the cave. Back on the western continent. Levels up his magic to level 3. While Jackimus is trying to pick up his raft and gets it without dying. Was very close to death on that point. Knightcrawler now going to the eastern continent and going back to the western. That raft position is very odd for that cave.
So at this point, the players are just looking for the glove, maybe the fairy and thunder spell. Those are not 100% required, but they could be. And yeah, they need to get into those palaces and beat them. So yeah, Jackimus a little bit ahead in terms of having beaten 2 palaces, and Knightcrawler already got 1, but he got the raft way earlier. However, I feel like we haven't seen him use it that much.
No, he seems to be sticking to western continent for now.
And maybe we are not even looking for thunder because it is on fire.
Oh, it is combined with fire. That's great. Yeah.
Knightcrawler fighting the Rizro boss of Palace 4. And he goes down. So both runners are now tied in terms of gems.
Not quite yet. Knightcrawler is still trying to get some XP before placing the gem.
Yeah, the thing about the way he's walking back for that extra level is not because he'll just get an extra level, because he wants that attack 7 level, so he can take the most out of that gem, and that will help him get bigger levels at the end.
And meanwhile, Jackimus found Maze Island. And the Grand Palace seems to be in Maze Island, if I have seen that correctly.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, Great Palace can be anywhere in Hyrule. So it can be in Maze Island, it can be in Valley of Death, it can be in the overworld, both in the western and eastern continents.
Knightcrawler still going through Palace 4, both leveling up and probably looking for the item. I don't believe I saw him find it.
I think not yet, but I also think it was a P bag.
Well, Palace 1 was a key bag. I'm not sure if 4 was also. Oh, he doesn't have a key. There we go. Knightcrawler gets his next level, and it has 3,000 experience points to get for the next one, so now is a good time to do the gem, I believe. If we can get across this block.
Yeah, that was quite the delay for him. Maybe he was looking for the item too, so yeah, he took the time for that, and he just made it so he can get this huge level out of here.
And Nightcrawler runs into another locked door, and he doesn't have a key for. So he seems to be locked out of exploring the remainder of Palace 4. At least on the left-hand side. Takes a death. Meanwhile, Jackimus finds another palace.
So
Knightcrawler reached the boss room again and is missing a key.
Oh no!
He used up the key from the boss within the dungeon.
Oh no!
Wow. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts a lot.
With Rando settings active, is it possible that there are no other keys in the dungeon?
There he goes. There he goes.
Yeah, there's that possibility. In this category and in most categories, you have to have either the fairy spell or the magic key to explore palaces. The logic is designed that way. However, these guys are defying that logic by entering palaces without the keys. They can find keys inside, and they can get a key drop from enemies. However, there's no guarantee of that happening. The only guarantee is that if they get the fairy spell, that they won't have to get into the palaces before they get the fairy or the magic key. However, neither of our players have gotten either of those.
Alright, Nightcrawler puts his gem in place, while Jackimus has found another palace, this time colored purple. Nightcrawler levels up his attack to 7.
So I'm curious about the orange palace. Was he glove locked out of there, or did he find the boss? I'm talking about Jackimus that was in an orange palace.
I haven't seen him seeing boss or items, so I guess he seems to be locked in some way.
Knightcrawler finds the candle.
Yeah, it was in another hammerlocked cave.
Yeah, the candle is not necessary. However, it helps, especially if you have some trolley caves in the eastern continent, and there are some trolley ones in the western too. So yeah, it's not bad, but clearly not what he was looking for.
So what both runners really want to find or need to find are the glove and the magic key, yes?
Yeah, that's correct. And the fairy spell will be useful also. Eh, they would prefer to have the fairy spell than the magic key, because the fairy spell will give him access to some of the rooms of some palaces that can block them because they don't have fairy. There's one in Palace 5, there's 2 rooms in Palace 6, and there are 3 rooms in Great Palace that can block them because they don't have the fairy spell. So yeah, getting the fairy spell is pretty useful in this kind of seed.
Gotcha.
And by the looks of the rooms I've seen so far on Jackimus' side, I think this can be Palace 5.
Yeah, that looks like Palace 5. It is one of the biggest palaces. It is the biggest of the palaces besides Great Palace. So this one kind of takes a while because the item is located in a room going from right to left, and the boss is located in a room going from left to right. So the boss and the item could be in the opposite direction in the palaces, and that can make the palace very big to explore. So it can be very trolly.
Knightcrawler begins his exploration of the eastern continent.
Yeah, I wonder why it took so long for him to explore the eastern continent. He got the raft very early in the game.
Yeah, he seemed very intent on finishing up western continent first.
Okay, so yeah, in interviews and when he does commentary, Nightcrawler is a guy that gives priority to not walking too much in the overworld. So if Great Palace is located in the eastern continent, Nightcrawler would want to finish first the whole western continent, then go to the eastern continent, so he doesn't have to walk back and forth between continents at any time. That's one of the things that he uses to play this game.
Knightcrawler finds Palace 5, but decides to keep exploring instead of dipping into it like Jackimus has. Jackimus is still in Palace 5.
Yeah, they're still looking for the glove, and there are still a lot of locations in the overworld in the eastern continent that they can check out before diving palaces. As you can see, Nightcrawler already was trolled for checking out palaces without having either the fairy or the magic key.
Right.
So yeah, he's looking for those things first before entering palaces, and you can see in Jackimus' side that is not turning out to be a very good decision entering Palace 5 so far, because it's been too long. Unless he finds the glove here, that could be a possibility.
Eastern continent has a lot of swampland, making the going slow. Jackimus finds a magic container in Palace 5.
Yeah, clearly not what he wanted. It will help him. For example, if he finds the thunder spell. However, he has the fire thunder, so yeah, magic container at this moment is not what he was looking for.
Knightcrawler gets the spell.
And the spell will give him access to an extra item, because you can use it at the end of the town of New Kisuto to make the spell tower appear, and he can get an extra item there. Also, the spell works for turning most of the enemies into bots, so he can survive a little bit more with it. However, some enemies in Great Palace cannot be turned into bots.
And Knightcrawler finds the Thunder Spell.
Yeah, if fire is linked to thunder, he is not happy about that. He was looking for the fairy spell, I guess. So Nightcrawler going the long way inside the town of Naburu, checking for some hints. And Karok disappears with the glove. That's a huge hint. And he was in Palace 4, so yeah, I guess he was locked out of the item room because he didn't have keys or the fairy spell. However, this is huge because Jackimus, there's a very low probability of Jackimus going for hints in the town of Naburu. Most of the players, when they get the spell, they walk to the right because it's shorter, and they don't get the hints in the left side of the town. So we'll see if Jackimus goes to check for that hint. Also, Jackimus already did Palace 4, so the probability of him walking back there to find the glove is pretty low. So yeah, this is huge for Nightcrawler. Let's see how this develops.
Both of them already have beaten Palace 4.
Yeah, but Nightcrawler has the knowledge now that the glove is there, so he will definitely go back as soon as he has some way to go through key doors, either the fairy or the magic key. So Nightcrawler in the town of Darunia. He will get the upstab technique. It's not required, but it helps with some enemies, and it also helps. It could be required in Great Palace. There are some rooms that you need upstab to progress. We haven't seen any of those in this Max Rando tournament. However, we'll see if we get the pleasure of seeing one in this race.
Knightcrawler exploring Maze Island now.
So Maze Island has 2 items inside and a palace. So yeah, he could be finding the magic key inside there. Also about the fairy hell, I believe we haven't seen the town of New Kasuto. It could be there. Also, I believe we haven't gotten the child, but maybe Nightcrawler asked the lady about the child's location, but I wasn't able to see what it was.
Jackimus getting his Thunder Spell. And Knightcrawler finding a magic bottle in the Rising Tower.
So yeah, he used the spell for that, and not what he was looking for. But also, I forgot that that new Kazuto was the spell they started the seed with. So there is no spell for the players in that town. So it's either Old Kazuto, I believe we haven't seen it, I'm not sure, and Darunia. Those are the possibilities for the fairy spell at this moment. So yeah, I guess we've seen Old Kazuto already. So yeah, Darunia should have the fairy spell.
Knightcrawler finds the magic key.
So was it in one of the caves in the Eastern Continent?
It
I
was Eastern
believe so.
Continent, one of the dark caves. But I haven't seen exactly where.
The Knightcrawler goes straight to Palace 4 to unlock those doors to get to the glove.
Yeah, that's the way to go. He just needs to do that and beat the other 4 palaces and then go to GP. However, not having the fairy spell could be very queasy. So yeah, if he knows the child location, there's a probability he will go for it.
And Jackimus is now back in what we believe is Palace 6.
Oh, quickly finds the boss.
Or is it Palace 2?
That's Palace 3.
Oh, 3. Wrong boss.
Yeah, 3 and 6 are the palaces that have this column that kind of look like classic columns. They don't have a face or a dripper in them. And you can see in Nightcrawler side that Palace 4 and 1 and GP have this kind of like a smiley face in the columns, while Palace 2 and 5 have the drippers, and so they have like a little circle inside the column.
Then thank you for the info. That's something I haven't known so far.
Yeah, and the entrance tells you about what palace is each palace. The only ones that you cannot make a difference, find a difference, is 3 and 6. They look the same in the entrance, but 2 and 5 have the columns with the circle, but 2 has a jar in the statue, while Palace 4 and 1 have the smiley faces, but Palace 4 has a flying enemy around in the entrance. So yeah, that's the way we can tell the palaces apart.
Knightcrawler entering Palace 3. I missed him getting the glove. Did we see him get the glove in Palace 4?
I would be pretty sure he did, but I didn't see it, so.
Awesome. Thank you, chat. Yes, he did get it. And down goes the boss of Palace 3. Is Knightcrawler trying to get a P back? Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay, he's trying to get the
No,
boss
leveling again.
Yeah.
Will take a while with 70 XP from the boss in the entrance.
There he goes. Oh, wow. That's going to be a nice gem place right there. 7,000 points. So at this point, both runners have 3 gems placed. They need to place 2 more gems in order to open up Great Palace, but Knightcrawler definitely has the advantage with the glove and magic key in his possession.
Jackimus is now back in Palace 4 for the glove. Not really sure if he saw the hint.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has the magic key either.
Unfortunately, it's hard to tell with such a laggy stream.
Yeah, Knightcrawler finds the lost child.
So answering to Tweak 1987, you can soft lock in randos. Yeah, kind of. There are some palaces like Palace 6 that if you don't have the glove, you can take a drop and land inside a room that is glove required, and if you don't have the glove, you can be trapped there. However, we use something that is designed inside the game where you can kind of take an intentional game over using the second controller. So if you pause the game and press Up and A on the second controller, you can cause an intentional game over and start over from the entrance of the palace. And yeah, other ways to soft lock, I'm not sure. This is a pretty solid rando. The errors, the bugs that were in the original game got fixed by dig checking this rando. For example, if you're getting a level out of a palace in the original game, if you exit the screen as soon as you're gonna get the level, the game will soft lock. But in the randomizer, that has been corrected.
We have seen that behavior, I guess, on Knightcrawler's side a few minutes ago, when he placed the gem for about 7,000 XP, and it was still ticking when he was in the overworld.
Did Nightcrawler just pick up the fairy spell? No, he didn't. Okay. He got the life spell.
Okay, so there are some places where fairy can be required. There's a room in Palace 4 that we call it the Leap of Faith room, and it is a crumbling bridge that you have to jump from and land to a very far location. And if you enter this room from right to left, the only way to go up into that crumbling bridge is using the fairy spell. So that's one required room. Palace 5 has one. We call it the Echo Key room, and that's a pretty high wall inside Palace 5. Some players manage to climb that using a damage boost from one of the skulls that tend to be here. However, in the randomizer, you don't know what kind of enemy you're gonna get there, so it could be pretty difficult. In Palace 6, there are two rooms that required fairy. One is a lava room that there's nothing in the floor, so you have to cross it using fairy. And there's one drop destination that has like a little hole where you can only enter that hole as a fairy. Some players are able to do what we call a ceiling walk to bypass the use of fairy there, but it is pretty tough, and it depends on the kind of room you have on top of that fairy hole. And Great Palace has two rooms, I believe, that are fairy required. Both are lava rooms. So yeah, there's possibilities of being fairy blocked, but there are a lot of seeds that don't require it. So I don't know what will be the case in this one.
So Jackimus left Palace 4.
He
I
found
didn't
the glove.
He did. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I'm
Do we know if he had the magic key? He didn't seem to have any issue with the
quite
lock
sure I
glove.
saw it on the pause menu.
Okay, cool.
So I believe Knightcrawler is doing Palace 3 now. Oh no, sorry, that should be Palace 2 or 5. I'm guessing this is Palace 2. I don't know.
Chat's telling us it's Palace 2.
Thank
yes.
you, chat.
And yes, Nightcrawler is demolishing everybody with the attack level 8.
Yeah, and Jackimus in Valley of Death. Do we know what palace is inside Valley of Death?
Not yet.
So Nightcrawler has the kid. So I'm guessing the fairy spell is in the town of Darunia. I don't know if he has gone for it. I don't think he has it though. But yeah, maybe Darunia is in his way when he finds the other palace he has to beat. And yeah, this is definitely Palace 2, just in case.
So Jackimus found in Death Valley Palace 6 is, or is that one we haven't seen yet?
So yeah, I'm gonna guess Jackimus is in Palace 6 at this moment. So yeah, that's why we haven't seen it, because it was deep in Valley of Death.
Too many hammers on screen for Nightcrawler, causing lag, and then the enemy stabs him in the back. Jackimus finds the boss of Palace already. Well, that's the mini boss. Never mind.
Yeah, there are two mini bosses in Palace 6. There's one that has like two heads on either side, the layout of the room, and that's a progression mini boss. And the other only has a statue on the right side, and that's the item room of Palace 6. So yeah, this one that Jackimus was on is the mini boss that lets you progress. So this mini boss kind of tells you something about the palace, and the thing is that you cannot walk into this room from right to left because the game would crash. So you will never find that. So what that tells us is that there's a dead end or a drop to the right of this room. So when you find this mini boss, it tends to be good news that you are either going to find the item room or the boss. It's not guaranteed. It could be a drop that leads you back into a loop, but yeah, most of the times it leads to either the item or the boss.
Nightcrawler makes quick work of the Palace 2 boss. Has 4 gems in place now.
Yeah, that boss with attack 8 should have taken like 2 or 3 hits.
2 hits and it was over.
Yeah. Hey, hello, Helmet Head. Bye, Helmet Head.
And Nightcrawler using that gem to level up his magic and life. Now has attack 8, magic 7, and life 5. And Knightcrawler finds the fairy spell.
So where was it? Was it in Darunia?
I cannot tell the towns by sight.
Purple Town?
No, it wasn't purple.
Okay. Oh, I'm intrigued. Can you describe the town? I'm blind here. So.
Chat, any help on that one? I'm lost when it comes to the town names. Fairy was in Ruto.
Oh, okay, so you needed the trophy to get fairy. As both the players had the trophy, I thought they already got the item from them, but from
Right.
there.
They found
but
the
I guess
trophy
they.
in the Maze Island quite some time ago, especially on Jackimus' side. I guess they just hadn't made their way back to Ruto yet.
Yeah, it will have lost them some time. However, so they prefer to take the risk of doing palaces without keys or the fairy spell, and they didn't know if Rudo was gonna be the answer in regards to the fairy spell.
Right.
So yeah, I don't blame them for getting it so late. So I guess both players are in the longest palaces, which are Palace 5 on Knightcrawler side and Palace 6 on Jackimus side. Both can be
Jackimus
very
just
trolly, but I
found-
guess Jackimus, yeah.
Yeah, just found the dragon boss.
Yeah, this boss is called Barba in the manual, but the Japanese name suggests that this is the famous Bolvaja boss
Ooh.
of Ocarina of Time.
So we have another instance of strange localization stuff.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time in the Zelda series.
Nope. So that puts both runners with 4 gems, but with 2 different palaces. So if Jackimus can find Palace 2 quickly, while Knightcrawler finishes up Palace 5, it would put them both in pretty much a dead heat.
Yeah, this race looks pretty close. However, well, Palace 5 and 6 are pretty long, and Jackimus has shown us that because he's been in both of them, and yeah, he was blocked out of them because he didn't have keys. But yeah, let's see how they go for Knightcrawler. And Palace 2, I guess it wasn't short. When Knightcrawler was there, he took quite some time there. So there are some dead ends in Palace 5, like the one I don't know how late I am, but Nightcrawler just found a dead end in what I'm seeing, and the way you can
Right.
tell dead ends in Palace 5 and 6 is very easy. If you enter a room and there is a flying enemy and there is no column, it is guaranteed that that is a dead end. So Nightcrawler, I believe he entered there and he was distracted, so he didn't know it was a dead end. However, he knows there was a jar in the statue, so he used it to refill his magic levels.
Jackimus misses the jump on the bridge and takes a dip in the lava.
Toasty! So yeah, this room, there are some players that have been able to pull off these jumps without the jump spell. One of the most prolific ones is Angry Larry. There's a video that is very funny about him making this jump, and as soon as he crosses the room, he takes a hit from an enemy and he game over. So it was a pretty silly moment. But yeah, it was pretty funny. But it is doable. But yeah, you have, if you find that room from right to left, you better have fairy or the jam spell. So because it is very hard to do without those.
And Knightcrawler found Guma.
So that's good for him because Jackimus took quite some time here in Palace 2.
And they are both fighting their respective last boss.
So yeah, very close race. It will depend on whether Nightcrawler beats Barba first or Jackimus beats Guma when he enters Palace.
They defeated the
Five
bosses
ag-
nearly at the same time.
Yeah, so they both put their 5th gem in place. I think that opens Great Palace in this seed.
Oh, you're absolutely right. They're very tight. I forgot that this was a 5 gem seed. I was expecting them to enter another palace. So yeah, they will enter Great Palace very close to each other. However, I believe Nightcrawler is kind of closer to GP, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing them in the same section of the map. So yeah,
Right.
they are really tight at this moment. This race is very, 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 very tight.
The Jackimus just entered Maze Island, which is where GP is, and Knightcrawler is almost there. And Jackimus enters Great Palace.
Yeah, that was better routing in Jackimus' side because Nightcrawler took the south path and it was full of swamp and he walked
Yes.
slow through swamp. So yeah, that was unfortunate, and Jackimus just had a better routing there.
And now we have to find out if we have to beat Thunderbird and which direction they have to go to find Darklink.
Yeah, that is correct. I'm not sure if Jackimus has the upstop technique that could stop him, but very low probability of that happening.
Well, Jackimus already found Thunderbird. Not sure if it's required, but he's fighting Thunderbird now, while Knightcrawler enters Great Palace.
Yeah, we still don't know if it is required because he found it going right from the Eon drop, so he could have dropped there to explore more of the palace and find Darkling there. But yeah, Darkling could be behind this Thunderbird. Anything can happen at this point. Thankfully, both our runners have the means to defeat Thunderbird in case if it's necessary. So it will be a faster fight for Knightcrawler because he has attack 8.
And Nightcrawler is continuing exploring Great Palace while Jackimus defeats Thunderbird. We'll see if Darklink is indeed on this
also
route.
found his Thunderbird.
So yeah, Knightcrawler in the Eon drop. Will he take it? Will he go to Thunderbird?
He's at Thunderbird now.
Okay.
He did a different drop than Jackimus did, but it led to a dead end, so he started Palace over and ended up at Thunderbird.
Okay, that's interesting. So that could mean that maybe Nightcrawler feels like he's behind. So yeah.
Nightcrawler made quick work of Thunderbird with that attack level 8.
Yeah, he saved some time there because of that. So yeah. I don't grind levels, but in those occasions I find that yeah, you can be way faster if you have a higher attack level.
So both runners have defeated Thunderbirds. Now it's just a question of who finds Darklink first.
Yeah, this is anyone's race at this point.
But I guess Knightcrawler is a bit in the lead because Jackimus is in rooms Knightcrawler has already seen.
Yes, the Alan Heffley is telling us Jackimus looped to the beginning of the palace somehow. So yeah, I'd say Jackimus has a little bit more knowledge, and there's a probability of Knightcrawler landing where Jackimus just did. So yes, the Alan Heffley is telling us that's just what happened. So I'm seeing I guess this happened a while ago, but I'm seeing Nightcrawler going through one of the very required rooms. Those don't show up very often in Great Palace, and that's because this Great Palace is shortened. So Great Palace has like 30% less of the rooms that it would normally have in this category.
Oh, looks like.
Oh,
Sure, well,
Jackimus
never mind.
could be close.
Could be. Now, this is a very weird Great Palace. It seems to go in circles. I haven't seen that before.
I also
Yeah,
have
a
the
lot of
feeling we have some loops here. Oh. Jackimus has to start from the top.
Ouch.
He took a game over.
Oh, that's bad.
But again, to the loops, for me it seemed that Knightcrawler was in this ferry section earlier before, and he went from left to right. And it seems there is a loop somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Great Palace can be very, very loopy, but it looks like this one is pretty special. If the Alan Heffley chat is saying that, so it's because this is a very weird one. So yeah, it's anyone's race. I guess this Great Palace is about walking to the left at the right room, or maybe taking an elevator up in the right spot. So we'll see who does that first. This is, yeah, anyone's race.
I think Knightcrawler is in a new section now.
Yeah, I haven't seen this section. What's that magic? Use that life spell. There we go.
Or we might have seen it on Jackimus' side.
Okay, yeah, so Nightcrawler just found the mini-boss room thing that Jackimus died in. Oop. Oh, saved himself with the fairy spell. Oof, it looks like Jackimus took another game over. He's back at the beginning of the palace again.
I think it was up and A.
Oh, up an A? Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it is faster to go back to the beginning of the palace. However, sometimes it is very hard to judge if that's faster or not. I find myself in those situations where I just pause and start thinking, is this faster or not? And I spend quite some time deciding because I don't know.
And Knightcrawler found Darklink.
There we go. Woo, that was a
Wow.
confusing Great
Very
Palace.
deep inside the dungeon.
And Darklink is down. Knightcrawler finishes in first place with an official time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 14 seconds.
So yeah, give
GG's.
your GGs to Knightcrawler. Very, very close race. It could have gone any way for both our players.
Indeed. Great Palace pretty much decided that. Wow.
And I think Jackimus is also on the right path to find Darklink. Knightcrawler is joining us for an interview here.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello,
Hey.
GG's.
Oh my. I made some big mistakes in that, but I guess that last drop probably made a big difference.
Yes, it did. Plus, Jackimus unfortunately got a game over in that fake boss room around
Oh.
there, which made him start over a bit.
For an interview here.
Hey guys, what's up? When I had
Oh
4
my.
gems down and I saw
I
P5
made
and GP
some
left, big
went
mistakes
for
in
Wait a
there,
second.
but I guess
I
that
have
last
to
drop
do something
probably
because of
made
the
a big
echo.
difference, huh? Sure.
Yes, it did. Plus, Jackimus.
I don't have speakers
So we
on.
have to switch audio over to Jackimus for the time.
Oh, right. I can fix that. Okay, there
Shouldn't
we
take
go. That should
Jackimus
be fixed.
not much longer to finish anyway, so he should find
Cool.
the drop.
Yeah, so Nightcrawler entered Great Palace like 2 or 3 minutes after Jackimus. You left your you placed your last gem at the same time. However, you took the path on the south of the continent and it had this swamp that cost you some time.
Oh, man.
And Jackimus went through the north and found the way to Maze Island going through the north. So he arrived to GP way earlier than you. But yeah, you turned it back. So I was blind the whole race. I'm sorry. I have an internet problem. My internet service provider has a problem with some sites, and one of them is Twitch. And so I'm blind. I was blind the whole race, but I kind of got the gist of it. And thank you. I have to thank Siberian and Ricky of Kokiri for helping me pulling this one off. But yeah, Nightcrawler turned this race around in Great Palace. Can you kind of explain to us what this Great Palace was about? It was very confusing for viewers in chat and for us commentators.
Oh gosh. So I entered GP and I took Eon Drop because it was like the first room you get to after the entrance. And it's usually good to take a drop early. So I took that drop early and then I saw the ferry room that you can go through. And I was like, well, I didn't sort of cash in my investment into ferry in Palace 5 like I should have if I was being smart. So if this is behind ferry and he didn't go to the trouble of getting ferry, then that's a great way to get ahead. So I went through ferry and then that was a dead end after a while. So I up and A'd and I went I think I went left, and then that looped around to right past it like looped in like 2 different ways or something. So I basically ended up exploring, I don't know, it seemed like half of GP before I really made any progress in it. There were definitely loops though.
Yeah, you were both high-fiving each other like 5 times inside GP. It was a mess at the beginning. So
Yeah.
what room did get you out of that loop in Great Palace?
It was up from the room before that fairy block room that I mentioned. The room that I gambled on to go through with fairy, and then there was a few rooms after that. Instead of doing that, you go up the elevator from there, and that gets you out of that loop.
Okay, that sounds like a thing. And yeah, Jackimus, as soon as he entered Great Palace, he went to fight Thunderbird, so he went to the room to the right of Eon Drop. But what was after Thunderbird? Was it a drop? I'm not sure. Or was it a dead end?
After Thunderbird, I know. No, it looped back in. It looped back in past the fairy room after a drop. I think that's what it. And at a certain point, like later on, when I got to that last drop, I was like, wow, I'm pretty deep in a GP. It's normally a bad idea to do drops this deep in, but I haven't actually, because there have been so many loops, I haven't actually seen that many left dead ends or anything like that. I haven't seen very many drop locations, so even if it does drop me somewhere bad, it's probably not behind where I am. So it might actually be a quicker way back. So I took that drop without hesitation for that reason. But oof. So how's he doing so far? I guess I could open up the stream.
Yeah, I cannot tell you. I see like a frame every 15 seconds, something like
That's
that.
normal
Still
for Jackimus in this
wandering
case.
Cool.
And he seems to have trouble with all the looping, but I think he found the drop to Darklink now.
I think
Okay.
that's it, yeah. Oh
So
yeah,
I'm
he's
curious.
not getting frames.
I'm curious about P4. You were trying to get a Chak 7 there. So I got told that you beat the boss, grabbed the key, then walked back, used the key. Then when you went back to place the gem, you had already used the key. So you had to grind there. How did you find the key to place the gem? Was it a drop or was it a room with a key?
Yeah, I was on my last life, and the only places I knew to get keys that I'd come across were like one of those, lava rooms that you jump. And so I didn't want to do that, but I had no choice. And so I went there, and then when I killed a bot, it dropped a key, so I just went back. But
Wow, that was very lucky.
the funny thing is, I was also searching through Palace 4 for the glove. Well, in case it had the glove or another important item. Because I had so many keys. I was filthy with keys, at least so I thought. Then I ran out of keys. And then that whole shenanigans happens. Then I have to go back because I find out that the glove is in P4 after all.
Oh, okay. So that's why you guys went into palaces without fairy and the magic key, because you were getting key drops. I guess that was the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both of you kind of suffered because of it. I saw Jackimus in Palace 2 and in Palace 5, and he had to get out of those. I don't know why he got blocked out of those, but I saw him in both of them, and he had to double dip them later.
I was
because
glove blocked in 2 and fairy blocked in 5. So
wow, yeah.
That's probably what
that's
got me back
unfortunate.
my time from goofing around, because I did P5 last because I knew there was a chance of a fairy block and I didn't have fairy, and I did, I did P2 second to last because I knew there was a chance of a glove block. So eventually I found like the magic key, and then I went and I got the hint for the glove in P4. Then I got that, and when I just had P5 left, I wanted to make sure that I had fairy because I had P5 and GP ahead of me, and so that's like 3.5 potential fairy blocks, and you never know. So
yeah, I never got fairy.
So yeah, as I was telling Knightcrawler, you both placed your last gem in both one of you in Palace 2 and the other one in Palace 5. So you were pretty close to each other, and you placed the gem at the same time. However, Knightcrawler went to Maze Island through the south, so there was a huge swamp there, and that held him for quite a while Jackimus took the north route and entered Great Palace like 2 or 3 minutes before Knightcrawler. So it was pretty exciting ending, and that Great Palace was so weird that it was anyone's game. It was someone finding a room that led him to Dark Link at any moment.
I found
yeah,
all
you were
the dead ends
unlucky.
in Great Palace. Oh yeah,
And
100% exploration rate.
I could be wrong, but the last race you had with Schmitty, I guess you entered Great Palace before Schmitty too, and Great Palace again turned the race around for you. So yeah, Great Palace kind of has like a grudge on you, Jackimus.
Seems like it, but I'm having fun all the same, so I'm not going to complain too much there. Congratulations on winning, Knightcrawler.
Thanks, Jackimus. Yeah, I minimized the IRC chat about like an hour in because it was just too painful at that point because I felt behind. I felt really far behind, and so I was sure when I pulled that back up after beating Dark Link that it would say done Jackimus like 5 or 10 minutes before me. But yeah, that GP and that everything. It wasn't the cruelest seed, but it wasn't the nicest either.
I liked that Thunder cost 13 MP. That was really funny.
I got it down to 8, so it was just spam city for me.
Oh yeah, what levels did you end at?
877.
Yeah, 556 for me.
Yeah. I messed up.
Knightcrawler kind of got some of the time he lost in the swamp. He got it beating Thunderbird way faster than Jackimus did because, well, attack 8 on Thunderbird is pretty quick.
Yeah, of course. Thunderbird wasn't required, though. Go figure. That's 2 in a row now for me.
Yeah, it just looped back into a path that I had already checked. I went through that fairy room. I took Eon Drop, and then I saw the fairy room, and I was like, ooh, I got fairy. I went out of my way to get fairy. Let me try to get some, like an edge on Jackimus and go through here. And it was like a dead end, and then I beat Thunderbird, and it like loops back into there, I think. That was good.
There were many loops in this Great Palace.
Yeah.
At least it's looked like that.
Yeah, it was non-Euclidean geometry at its finest tonight.
It was basically a pretzel. I think if you mapped it out, I think the first half of the dungeon would just be a pretzel.
Yeah, actually it would be. So, yeah. Craziness.
Yeah,
that was
Pretzel
fun.
Palace.
That was fun.
fun.
That was fun. I guess I'm looking forward to see what the pairings are for next week, and maybe I'll be able to win one for a change. Woohoo!
You'll get some under your belt.
So this was the last match of the Swiss 2?
I don't think.
Because I haven't seen any other scheduled matches so far.
There's usually last people who like try to schedule it at like midnight on the last day.
Guess we'll just have to check the old Discord and see what's what there. Anyway, I got some company coming over, so I'm going to take off, folks. Till next time, let's go Bruins!
Yeah,
Thanks for the fun game, Jackimus.
Yeah, GG.
Yep, congrats again. See you again real soon.
Yeah, what I was getting at when I started saying to Jackimus that I minimized the Discord chat is that the IC chat is that I was, so afraid I was going to lose, but I was still just thinking, hey, you know what? It was a fun game. It was a fun game, so even if I lose, it's fine.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I didn't see anything, but kind of getting informed by my fellow commentators and trackers and restreamers from the Zelda Speedruns team. I'm really thankful you saved my butt today. And yeah, it was very, very, very interesting the way it developed and the the challenges that this seed brought. And as you said, it wasn't trolly, but at the same time, it wasn't free. Like this seed made you work for it.
Yeah, it did. Well, thanks very much for casting for us, Victor, and doing all that in Siberian and Kokiri. Hope the rest of the day on Zelda Speedruns goes awesome.
Yeah. So again, thank you, Victor, for joining commentary in the first place, and also thank you to our tracker Ricky of Kokiri that joined for the commentary to help you out. And the weekend again is of course packed for CSR. Not the schedule? Wrong command? Let me check. I thought... Okay. Can't pull up the schedule at the moment, but we have some matches running at the moment and in a few hours. At the moment on ZSR1 there is the Twilight Princess Any Percent match going on, and later today we have a Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup match. I think we are in the semi-finals for this one. And for the rest of the Saturday, for next day, we have of course our standard program with Ocarina of Time Randomizer weeklies, Majora's Mask weeklies, everything on the weekend. So,
and yeah, I can confirm what you said earlier. Yeah, round 2 is over, so
yeah,
the pairings will come
while
up
we were
later
doing the interview 10 minutes before the Alan Heffley confirms that round 2 is over. And Swiss round 3 will be announced later tonight.
Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, thank you guys again. You saved the day, and yeah, hope the viewers enjoyed this race. So let's see you. I will see you on the next one then.
Tune in for the next Zelda 2 randomizer matches and keep an eye on the schedule on zeldaspeedruns.com, where all the interesting stuff is mentioned on the calendar. So tune in next time. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.